Students, today we're going to continue looking at graphing and we're going to talk about the slope of a line. So when we're looking at our line, the slope talks about how steep the line is. So when we're looking at this line here, is it really steep? Is it really flat? The slope is a number that represents the steepness. Now, there's a couple different ways to look at slope. We can look at what you I've probably heard as rise over run. So that's where we're actually looking at the line and we're picking 2 points on the line and we're counting. And the nice thing about rise over run is that you can start anywhere. So if you wanted to, you could start at this point, this pink dot, and you could move down to all the way down here, this blue dot. Or you could start somewhere else. You could start at this green dot and move to the blue dot, and no matter what, you would end up getting the same ratio because what we would say is that the slope is constant. It's constantly the same steepness the entire way. We're also going to look at the slope formula, which is what we'll use more when we get into algebra, would be slope formula. So let's go ahead and look at a couple lines. We'll first find slope using rise over run, and then we'll learn about the slope formula. So rise over run is really effective when we have the line in front of us, and then we can quickly find its slope just by counting. So you would use this strategy when the line is already drawn for you. This would be the quickest way. So I'm just going to put a couple points of reference on our line. That way we can calculate the slope between those points. Okay, so again, it doesn't matter where I start and where I finish. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at the rise, moving up or down, compared to the run, which is moving to the left or to the right. And when we're counting this, if we're going up, that would be a positive amount. If we're going down, that would be a negative amount. So just like on our number line, up is positive, down is negative. When we're counting the run, if we're going to the right, that would be a positive amount. If we're going to the left, that would be a negative amount. So let's practice. Let's do an example. So let's start. Again, it does not matter where we start. Let's go ahead and start at the orange dot and move to the green dot. So from this orange dot to get to green, I would have to rise, go up or down. In this case, I'd be going down 1, 2 spaces. So because I'm moving down, that would be a -2. So my rise would be a -2. Now, from this location, I'm going to figure out how many spaces to get to that green dot. That's called my run. So my run would be 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. And again, because I'm moving to the left, that would be a -4. And then the very last thing I do is I always simplify my ratio. So I have a negative over a negative. Negative divided by negative is positive. And 2 over 4 reduces to 1 over 2. So my rise over my run is 1 over 2. Now I want to show you that if we had started somewhere else, we would have ended up with the same answer. Like let's say we started at blue and we moved to orange. So going from blue to orange, now my rise would only be 1 in the positive direction. My run would be 1, 2 in the positive direction. So we can see that we're still ending up with the same ratio in simplest form. So again, rise over run is really effective when we have a picture of the line already. Although, a lot of times we do not have a picture of the line. What we have are just points. And that's when we want to use our slope formula. Our slope formula is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. These little 2's and 1's, that's just ordering our ordered pair. So if I have an ordered pair, it's an x and a y. If I have a second ordered pair, it would also be x and y. So it would get really confusing to name them both the same thing. So we would just say, okay, this is x1, y1, meaning first ordered pair. This is x2, y2, meaning second ordered pair. That way we don't get them confused. So let's look at an example so we can practice this. So we have two ordered pairs here. All we're going to do is plug them into our formula. Now, we really need to label our ordered pairs, otherwise it's really easy for our brain to just get confused and kind of mix this all up. So I'm going to order this ordered pair 1, y1, x1, and ordered pair 2, x2, y2. Didn't matter which one I said was ordered pair 1. If I had wanted to say 2, 1 was ordered pair 1, that's okay. I'd still get the same answer. So my y2 value I can see is 1 minus my y1 value is 3 over my x2 value is 2 minus my x1 value is 1. Now I just need to subtract and reduce. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. And negative 2 over 1 is negative 2. So my slope is negative 2. All right, let's try one with some negatives because sometimes that throws people off. So again, I'm going to label x1, y1, x2, y2. And I'm going to plug it into my formula. Now be really, really careful when there's negatives in your problem. So my y2 is negative 2 minus my y1 is also negative 2. So I got to be really careful there. Okay, my x2 is 1 minus my x1 is 3. Okay, I've got this double negative. So remember, when we see that double negative, we're going to keep change, or we're going to take the opposite, whatever strategy you've learned to help you remember that. So this is the same as negative 2 plus 2 over 1 minus 3. Now, negative 2 plus 2 is 0 over negative 2. Sometimes people get really confused when we have division with zeros. If we have nothing and we divide it into groups, each group still has 0 in it, right? If you imagine there's nothing in your hand, you divide it up, each group still has 0 things in it. So our slope is 0. So this line, a line with 0 slope, is just a flat surface. Think of the floor that we walk on is usually a slope of 0. Okay, that's very different than if, for say, we were to talk about our slope being something like, this is just a totally different example. Let's say 6 divided by 0. Sometimes people get confused. When 0 is in the denominator, imagine you have something and you need to turn it into nothing. Well, we can't do that, right? You can't take something and turn it into 0 groups. So this is what we call undefined. And an undefined line is a vertical line. It goes directly up and down.